And away from health matters, October 11 of every year is a day set aside to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child. The day was first observed in 2012 and it highlights issues that affect the girl child while seeking opportunities for their growth. One of the challenges of the girl child in Africa is early marriage, with the UNICEF report stating that the continent is home to 130 million child brides. And now, joining me to discuss challenges and opportunities of the girl child in Africa is UNICEF Education Specialist, Azuka Menkiti. Thank you so much for joining us, Azuka.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So it's been 10 years since the first observance of the Day of the Girl Child. I mean, we've gone through cultural advancement, technological advancement. Let's take stock of the last decade. How far has the cause of the girl child been advanced?
In Nigeria, where we are, we've been celebrating the International Day of the Girl since year 2011, 2012, or thereabouts. And then so far in the past 10 years, able to garner a lot of support and bring in a lot of collective responsibility on the key stakeholders, the policymakers, on the issues around the girl child. This year, Nigerian government decided that every year we are going to use the opportunity of the International Day of the Girl to organize the State of the Nigerian Girls Summit, where we bring in stakeholders to begin to address key barriers that keep girls away from achieving their right for survival, their right for protection, their right for education, their right for participation, and their right for development. So what is happening here today at the National Center for Women Development is that we have brought in various stakeholders, the Minister of Women Affairs, the Minister of Education, Minister of Health, to begin to discuss the issues around the girl child. So looking back in the past 10 years, a lot has changed, but I must say that we still need to do a lot. Nigerian girl is still not in school. Nigerian girls are still not accessing their right to equal participation in education. Nigerian girls are still not protected enough to be able to take them away from all forms of violence. So there are still a lot to be done. But I must say that some progress has been made in discussion on the issues around the girl child. But Nigerian government has to do a lot more. And that is why this celebration is happening today at the National Center for Women Development, where we have all the key development partners and the key policymakers come together to discuss the issues around the girl child.
All right, now looking at progress, would you say there are more opportunities for African girls in spaces such as technology, engineering, politics, and other fields dominated by men?
Well, one thing that has come clear to us as UNICEF is that the girls are beginning to speak up. The girls are beginning to raise their voices. The girls are beginning to fight for their own space. In terms of digitalization of education, a lot has happened, but we still have a lot of gaps. We have more men and more boys having access to digital learning because of access to internet. So that is why a lot of people are coming together to have this discussion on how to improve access to good health and access to education for the girl child in Nigeria.
Okay, now still looking at this issue of progress, we're looking at the rural areas where insecurity and unfortunately some are living below the average standard of living. Now, in one of your reports, you said that the continent is home to 130 million child brides. I wonder what has been the reception to this civic education of the importance of allowing the rights of the girl child to be upheld?
Well, a lot has changed, like I said earlier, but a lot still has to be done. In terms of the rights of the child, in terms of civic participation, there are so much that is happening through different NGOs, through different development partners, through different government agencies to get the girl child to recognize her rights in different spaces so that she's able to access this right. What has actually provided some level of setback is around issues of safety. Because of the different issues of kidnapping and abduction of girls in recent times. But a lot also has happened in creating awareness on the need for communities to take to take responsibility for the safety of their children, especially the girl child within their communities. So I must say that a lot of progress has happened, but there is still so much gap to be filled. And I'm sure that for the remaining parts of the decade, for us to be able to achieve the SDGs, government of Nigeria needs to stick together, bring different responsibility and different agencies to come together to begin to look at what roles they need to play to ensure that by 2030, that the girl child in Nigeria will be able to stand up and say that she has been able to achieve her rights in all perspectives.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the challenges of the girl child in education, physical and mental wellness. You know, a lot of things affect their mental well-being. How can these be tackled?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We're looking at the effect of the girl child education and the challenges that have been in the girl child in education, physical and mental wellness. How can these be tackled? These challenges in education, physical and mental wellness, how can it be tackled?
In every 10 children in school, we have only 3 being girls, and we have more boys assessing their right to education, but especially in the area of transition. We have less number of girls who are transiting from junior secondary schools to secondary education, from upper primary to junior secondary schools. All of these are around the barriers that we look at around social norms, gender norms, and issues around the safety of the concerns on safety of the girls in school. So parents do not have confidence anymore in the safety of their children in schools, especially the girls, even on the way to school. So all of these constitute barriers and challenges to access the right to education for the girl child. In terms of her mental health, we have had cases where during the COVID-19 where girls, because they stayed at home for a long time, we had cases of pregnancy. And once a girl gets pregnant, she's withdrawn from school and she begins to deal with issues of her mental health and all of that. So all of these are within the package, within the theme of this year's celebration that's looking at the girl's rights, her right today and her right tomorrow. So we are going to work with governments at different levels to ensure that the rights of the girl child is achieved and the challenges that this girl faces in terms of asserting her right to education is actually addressed.
Thank you so much, Azuka Menkiti, for joining us on the news to discuss more about this. And the time is right now, and the dreams of the girl child needs to be fulfilled. Thank you so much for sharing so much thoughts on this.
Thank you. Bye.